Why does everyone talk about stocks and investing in stocks and not talk about investing in bonds? Stocks seem to be the go-to investment option for most people, but there are also bonds that you can and should invest in, or at least make them a part of your overall portfolio. In this video, I'll be talking about bonds, what they are, how they work, and why you should have not only stocks but bonds in your investment portfolio. So with that said, stick around to the very end of this video so you can learn more about bonds. Also, if you're new to the channel and this is the first time that you're seeing one of my videos, my name is Ian, and even if it's not the first time, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I'll really appreciate it, and that's how these videos get recommended to more people. And also consider subscribing to this channel, and when you subscribe, be sure to turn on all the notifications, as that's the only way you'll be able to get updates every day when I post a new video here. And yes, I post a new video here on YouTube every single day. So if you want daily content on personal finance topics, be sure to turn on all notifications for this channel. Now, if you're watching this video and you already own bonds, comment down below and let me know which bonds you own and why you chose to go with them. So first of all, if you didn't know, and to make this very simple, a bond is a debt that is sold to an investor for interest payments. So you have debt, I come in and I buy the debt, and I give you money and then you pay me interest. Government bonds are a popular choice for many since the bond is backed by the government, and so this equals a very, very low risk, and the only chance of you losing out here is if the government fails. Now, in the past, before I started investing in bonds, I actually thought that all bonds were government backed, and it wasn't until I was actually ready to invest in bonds that I found out that that is actually far from the truth. So it's always good to do your research before you invest. Now, there are many different types of bonds, and to pick the best or a good bond, we use a bond rating system, which is like a grade sheet for bonds, and they have a rating from a D, which is the lowest, to a AAA, which is the highest. And even though I made an example of a government-backed bond being very, very safe, they aren't always AAAs or have the best rating. So here's how this system or this rating system works. You have two main levels. At the very top, you have investment grade bonds. These are rated the best and considered as the safest and most stable bonds. These will include ratings ranging from AAAs to a triple minus B. So you can consider these anything in between A and B. So it's like a report card. Now, A to B is always good. These bonds are generally issued by government entities or public corporations that boast a very, very positive outlook for the future. Now, the most common type of investment grade bonds are US Treasury bonds. So if you're looking for the best, you need to look at Treasury bonds, as that's where they usually are. Now, the second level or tier to this is non-investment grade bonds, which are also referred to as junk bonds. And these will include a rating of a double B all the way down to D. Now, these bonds are much riskier, but people still invest in these because just like any other investments, the more riskier you get, the more chance of you getting higher returns. Now, some of these bonds can have a lot of issues, such as debt, liquidity issues, and they can eventually go out and leave you with nothing. So if you're not a risk taker, stick to investment grade bonds. Now, I'm going based off the Standard & Poor rating agency, and there are 3 rating agencies that give bonds a rating. So the rating may be slightly different depending on which rating score you're looking at. It's somewhat like a credit score. If you check your Experian credit score, it may be different from your TransUnion credit score, but the overall idea should be the same. So we have the S&P rating agency, and we have the Fitch rating service, and then we have Moody's investor service. And if you want to learn more about these, you can research them and use whatever grade system you like more. So the investment grade bonds will most likely be able to pay down on all their debts and interest. Now, the higher the rating for a bond, though, the lower the yield is. So the ones that have AAA ratings are going to be the safest, but at the same time, they're going to yield the least. And this is why people will oftentimes invest in lower grade bonds or even junk bonds, because the yields are much more. Also, when the stock market goes down, bonds usually go in the opposite direction, so it helps to keep your portfolio stable. Now, the main thing I want you to take away from everything I've just said here is that lower risk bonds pay less or yield less, but they are also safer, and higher risk bonds yield more, but they aren't as safe, and so you can also lose all your money with bonds. It's possible. Now, this is the reason why retirement investment accounts come with bonds, and as you get closer to the end of the investment account or the maturity date, the amount invested in bonds will be increased because it's safer here. Less chance of you losing money, and if they're government-backed bonds, in my opinion, very little chance. Almost no chance of you losing money unless the government fails, and if that happens, then your investments won't be worth anything altogether. So comment down below now and let me know if you got this and if you understand what a bond is and the ratings of bonds. And if you're thinking about investing in bonds, you can simply Google the bonds ratings so you can see where it ranks, so you can have a better idea if it's safe enough or if it's a safe enough bond for you to invest in. Now, if you ask me, I would tell you to invest in government bonds and treasury bonds, and these are safer and they don't have to be long-term bonds. You can invest in 1-year bonds, 3-year bonds, and this can go up all the way to 30-year bonds, so you have a lot of options here. And I'm saying this because, in my opinion, it's better to have slower, safer returns, especially if you don't make a lot of money, because if you don't make a lot of money, then you can't afford to lose any money. So slower, safer bonds takes the win. Now, this isn't to say you can't invest in other bonds, and in fact, there are bonds of publicly traded companies that are in the top ratings, anywhere from an A to B, which will yield you a lot more than government bonds, but again, it's a little bit more risky. But if you invest in stocks, or if you're already investing in stocks, then it may be the same amount of risk if you do your research. I mean, a good company shouldn't just go bankrupt overnight. So if you're looking to purchase bonds, and by the way, as for government bonds, you can actually purchase them directly from the government. Just wanted to let you know that just in case you were interested. Now, the best time to purchase bonds is not when the market is low. It's actually when the stock market is doing really well, because that's when bonds seem to get cheaper. And if you look at recent history, just a couple months back when the stock market went down, bonds went up because people are trying to move their investments from stocks to bonds because, again, bonds are safer. So purchasing a bond when the market is going down isn't what you want to do. You can wait until the stock market is doing really, really well and people aren't so focused on bonds, and then you purchase bonds and just make it a habit of adding bonds to your portfolio and diversify with them. So this should help you out a lot when looking into which bonds to invest in. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you were able to learn more about bonds, and if you want me to go over all the different types of bonds or do another video on more about bonds, leave me a comment down below so I know. If you'd like to see more videos just like this one, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, as that's the way these videos get recommended to more people. It can potentially help someone out as well, and I'll really, really appreciate it. And remember guys, giving this video a thumbs up is completely free. Also, don't forget to check out some of my other videos here on credit cards, banking apps, savings accounts, investments, ways to make money, and much more. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and be sure to turn on all notifications for this channel, as that's the only way you'll be able to get the updates of when I post new videos here, and I post a new video here every single day on YouTube. And remember, I'm also leaving some links down below to free stuff and free cashback offers, which includes free stocks and just free cash. So be sure to check all the links down below in the description for all kinds of free stuff. Now, if you haven't already seen my other videos on investments, I'll leave a link to that playlist right here where I have several videos on investments. Once again, guys, I hope this video was very helpful. All the best with your investments, and I hope to see you tomorrow.